Welcome to week 5 office hours for COIS FRSC 2750, Computer Crime and Forensics. This is, of course, our 5th office hours, and I will just take a few moments and go over some of the basics. We've got some interesting and new information coming out this one, and that is about the term paper. So I'll go over that in great detail. And then I'll take questions either through chat or through audio video. And if you want to send me a private chat, then I won't name who asked the question. If you want to just publicly chat, I'll answer those questions as well. Excuse me. And should there be a need, I will stick around afterwards, and I will separate us into anyone that sticks around into private rooms, and we can have an independent and private conversation if that's needed. So just to cover some ground that I've covered every office hours, and I'll just do it briefly. That is to say, if you still cannot see the quizzes, it means that you have failed to complete one or both of the mandatory requirements. We've got a academic integrity module that has to be completed, perfect, and submitted as a screenshot. And you only have to do that once per school year. So if you've already done that, that's fine. But I need the screenshot with your name on it to show me that you have done that. And then the second one is the course requirements quiz. And that is 24 questions, mostly from the syllabus, and a couple questions on APA formatting that come from the resources that I've provided under course content general. So you need to get that perfect as well. We're up to 25 tries on that now. I'll add another 5 this Saturday for anyone that's still working away on those. Please do take the time to do some research. These are not meant to be game-stopping questions. They're not really that hard. So do take your time, do the analysis, and figure out what the answers are. They're not made to be particularly tricky or anything. Just use the examples provided, and you should be able to see how these work. The vast majority of people are seeing quizzes and writing quizzes at this point. There are just a few that are lagging behind. And I just say this in case they've joined this live or they're watching it afterwards when I post the recording. It's a great thing. If this is your first office hours, I would strongly suggest watching the very first office hours where I went over things in great detail. So yeah, that's my suggestion. People can do what they wish. But that is my suggestion to keep up with the requirements. I'm still getting the occasional question that indicates a complete lack of understanding of what needs to be done in the course. So we are at week 5. We're a good ways into the course at this point. Not so much in terms of marks, because we've only done a few quizzes and a discussion at this point. So it's not that's unsalvageable at this point, but every week that slips by is another few marks in the can that you're never going to get if you haven't made attempts at these things already. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review the feedback from discussion 1. We did not charge for late submissions for discussion 1 post 1. We will be charging for lates in the future. It's just that we had a lot of people join late to the course late, and I just felt that it was appropriate to give everyone a break on that. I wouldn't give one person a break and not give everyone a break. So I gave everyone a break on the late penalty, but we will be enforcing that on discussion 2. Do take a look at the feedback. We specifically spent the time to give you good feedback. We're going to give you verbose and hopefully good feedback on discussion 2 as well. But as we get into discussion 3, 4, and 5, you'll see that it'll be less feedback. And that's just based on experience. If students aren't reading the feedback, there's no point in continuing to give the same feedback over and over again. So we will do the same thing for discussion 2, which is post 2, like the end of discussion 2 is due on this Friday at 11:59:00. We will try and turn around the marking for next Wednesday. So be able to read the feedback from your discussion before you have to do your first post for the next discussion. After that, I'm not going to make those promises. You'll have had 2 chances of feedback. We will still provide feedback, but you should have a really good idea what's going on at that point. Okay. Any questions about the stuff that I've covered so far? I'm going to get into the term paper here in a second, but I'll take a pause. Is there any questions about the mandatory course requirements quiz, the academic integrity module, the discussion so far? Okay. If you do, just jump in whichever way you want to communicate those. So let's talk about the term paper. So the term paper is worth 15% of your final mark. It's due Friday, March 24th. No surprise, it's due at 11:59:00 on Friday, March 24th. What's going to happen with that, and I'm just navigating there just so I can look at this myself. When you go, and this hasn't happened yet, so I'm going to release this immediately after the office hours here, so you can do it after the office hours if you want. I thought it was fair to give the people that take the time to come to the office hours a heads up that I'm releasing it. I'll do an announcement as well. Under groups topics, there's going to be a sign-up sheet. So you're going to be able to choose from 8 different topics. You can look at those various topics. You don't have to choose it right away. You've got lots of time. Again, it's not due till Friday, March 24th. Take a look at the topics, decide what you're interested in, and then I would suggest going ahead and doing some online research just to make sure that you can find sources for that. It's not that any one of them doesn't have sources. It's just a matter of finding, in my opinion, what I would be doing is finding a topic that interested me, first of all, but also that I could find lots of sources, which would make my writing a lot easier than if I only had a few sources or I could think of ways of researching a few different ways. So when you go to groups topics, there'll be a list of these, and then you will ultimately choose to enroll yourself in one of the groups. So the groups are not because it's a group assignment. It is definitely not a group assignment. It is instead an individual assignment, but there's going to be, I think there's up to 43 people that can choose each topic. So it's competitive in that we're going to distribute it evenly. We're not going to have everyone write one topic. We're going to distribute the class, but you're going to make those choices. So while you don't have to rush that choice, don't leave it to the last minute either. The people that are successful in writing this and doing a good job on it are the ones that get on it right away or early, not necessarily right away. That's an exaggeration, but early that go ahead and do multiple drafts of it, do good research. Don't on Thursday, March 23rd, go, oh crap, I have a term paper due tomorrow that's worth 15% of my mark. That's 12 or 1,500 words long. I'm going to write that right now. We'll be able to tell unless you're an incredible writer, and there are incredible writers out there, so power to you if you can do that. But my strong suggestion is to work away at it slowly, chip away, do multiple iterations, do lots of good research, revise. Hopefully your experience in writing discussions is going to help you. It's really just a large discussion. It's basically 2 to 3 times regular discussion in length. With the specs being 10 references, 10 cited references or more, okay? So if you look in the term papers folder, which is a new folder in Blackboard, it's one that I just opened up for you, you're going to find in there's a couple videos, one closed captioned and one not. I recorded these a couple years ago, but they apply perfectly. And it gives all my expectations, answers a lot of the questions about the term papers. And then you're going to find the rubric as well. Take some time and take a look at that rubric and understand where the marks are, where the distribution of marks are. Note, particularly, just like in your discussions, that if you give me a list of references and no citations within your paper, that is a 0. So if you do it the other way around, if you cite a bunch and you never give me the actual reference list, that's also a 0. So I always say don't let the mechanical marks go away. Doing references and citations is a mechanical process. It's not a creative one. It doesn't require any particular talent or whatever. It's just doing the right steps. Just like grammar and punctuation and capitalization, those kinds of things are mechanical. So don't give away, make your presentation, edit it, make sure that you've got the appropriate capitals. You need to work with the academic center, the academic skills people. Do that. Reach out to them. Get them to help you with your writing. That's an excellent idea. So there's also, I'll remind you, a video under course content general that talks about revisions. It's really good. It's a really, really incredibly well done video. It's, I think, 22 minutes long by memory, and it's well worth the 22 minutes to watch that. It'll help you with your writing almost for sure. So once you have chosen, and again, it's not available yet to make your choice. I'll do it after the video. Once you've chosen under, sorry, I'm just scrolling up here, groups, topics, you've chosen your topic, then that is going to disappear from there. And I'm going to get panicked emails all the time. I chose my topic. I'm not sure if it went right, whatever. It's disappeared. It disappears when you make that choice. And what will happen is under term papers, your submission Dropbox with your question and all the requirements will appear there. Okay, so you'll join, say, question 1, the group for question 1 or question 2 or whatever, and then that Dropbox will show up in the term papers folder, and it'll show you your whole question and all the instructions to it. Okay, so the other question that I get a lot is, "Oops, sir, I chose the wrong topic. Can you change me over to this topic?" I will absolutely not do that. There's 350 students. I could spend the rest of my life shuffling people from topic to topic. I'm not prepared to do it. Take your time, figure out what topic you want, enroll in the right topic. If you don't, you're stuck with the topic that you've chosen. Okay. Again, if I had 10 students, I'd shuffle all day for everyone, but I don't. I have 350 students. I don't have the time to keep up with people wanting to change topics. So once you've chosen a topic, that's the one you get. I think that's all I wanted to say about the term paper. Any questions about the term paper or anything else? And I see that there's a question in my chat box here. This might be a dumb question, but how are there only 5 discussions if we're posting one every week? Is it one post per week and the response the next week and so on? Yes, it is. So take a look at your syllabus, and it tells you each week, and in the course contents folder, tells you each week what is due. So if you look in the schedule in the syllabus, week 2 is discussion 1, post 1. Week 3 is discussion 1, post 2. Week 4 is discussion 2, post 1. Week 5 is discussion 2, post 2, and so on. So we take up 10 weeks that way for 5 discussions. Remember, it's best 4 out of 5 discussion marks. So if you blew the first one, or you're just not going to get around to doing the discussion for this week's discussion and last week's first post, that's fine. It's best 4 out of 5. Okay, awesome. I answered the question clearly enough. Okay. The other thing I guess that I should talk about just briefly, and we'll deal with this more next week. We're coming up. This is week 5. We're almost done week 5. So we're going to get into week 6, obviously, next. Week 7 is the reading break. And then week 8, we come back to the midterm. So I will talk on next office hours about what's going to happen with the midterm, and to sort of head off the questions about the fact that the midterm is Monday at 10 a.m. and you have a class. I will explain the procedure for that, for letting me know that when we get to next week's office hours. So in a week, I'll talk about that. I don't like to deal with these too far ahead, just because I can miss email. I get too much email. I can miss email. If I'm looking for email from everyone, then I can concentrate for a week and get that organized and get people's exceptions that they need worked out. So again, I'll talk about everything to do with the midterm next office hours. Does anyone have any other questions? I wanted to ask about the discussion as well. Therefore, discussion post 2 that's due tomorrow is the reply for our fellow peers discussion. That's exactly right. So post 1 is always in response to my question. Post 2 is in response to a peer's post or a peer's question that they've posted. All the same requirements apply for post 1 and post 2. Same length, same number of citations, everything. Same quality of post as in each case, post 1 and post 2. If you were late on post 1, that's fine, no big deal, even if you haven't posted it yet. If you post 1 and post 2 today or tomorrow, that's fine. There's a flat 10% penalty for being late on discussion on the discussion post 1. So the post 1 is a 10% penalty if it's late. If you're late on the second post, on post 2, the discussion will be closed and you won't be able to post it. Okay, so just to be clear on that, I don't reopen discussions once the deadline is passed, which again is 11:59:00 according to Blackboard's time. Then I don't reopen it. So don't bother emailing it to me. I'm not going to mark it. If it's not in Blackboard, I won't be marking it. Okay. Any other questions? Makes sense. Yeah, post. So yeah, that's the new topics come out with the new discussion numbers. So we will get into week 6. You're going to have discussion 3, post 1. So that'll be a new topic for you to work on. Okay. So there's 5 topics. There's 5 different discussions and a post a week. Now, just the reason I kind of do it that way is when we get to summertime, the entire course is compressed into 6 weeks. So it's 2 posts per week, like it's a discussion a week. It's a lot faster pace, but that's the expectation when it's a 6-week course. So. All right. So again, the vast majority of people have done the prerequisites to be able to see the quizzes. If you haven't, you really haven't lost that many marks yet. There are people that have done absolutely nothing in the course. That becomes a bigger and bigger problem as we go further. Yeah, that's always the case. But the people that have been paying attention and have started are not that many percent in at this point. We're at the end of tomorrow. We will have done 4 quizzes, so that's 6%. And 2 discussions, so that'll ultimately be another 10%. So from a marks perspective, we'll be 16% of the way through. Again, we will release the marks as soon as we can on the discussion that's due tomorrow, and that'll be the following Wednesday that we'll get that back to you. Okay, guys, if you don't have any further questions, feel free to get on with your evening. Thanks for taking the time to come. It's really helpful to have the questions and have the attendance. Would you like the interaction question noted in the response? It helps. It helps, Lori. Yeah. If you can, go ahead and do that. If you do that, that would be fine too. We can, infer. We're looking for the quality of your writing more so than how directly or indirectly it responds to someone else's question. On the original one, we know what we're looking for in terms of answers, but on your response, it's more about the quality of your writing. Okay. So thanks, guys. Go ahead and get on with your evening. I will stick around if there's anyone that wants to talk to me privately. I'll certainly do that with anyone. And other than that, have a great evening and a good weekend. And we'll talk next week.